The cabinet installation tool is the product of 30 years of difficult cabinet installation projects. You know the saying that a pro makes anything look easy. Well, as you can see from the photos of just some of my past projects, all cabinet installations are different, and each site poses installation variables that can cause even the most seasoned professional to scratch his or her head. As you can see, installers have tried just about everything to make the installation process easy, and at the present, even the best of the best still have challenges. And too often, multiple hands have to be involved. And like anything else, if you don't get it right, there could be trouble in paradise. For the professional, you have to make sure you have a helper with you, or be somewhat creative like this guy, or make sure your competitors don't know of a way to do it faster or better without breaking the bank, cutting you out of the job. For the homeowner who is always up for a challenge, but is installing cabinets for the first time, all the how-to videos and instructions go out the window because your installation is not exactly like the installation in the instructions. You could hire an expert for thousands of dollars, have one of the nation's largest box stores do the install for $75 a cabinet, or you could take advantage of 30 years experience and for the installation cost of only 2 cabinets, have a tool that takes all the guesswork out of the installation process. That's right. If you know how to use a level, drill, and a tape measure, you too can install cabinets as well as any professional. Come on, let me show you a 2-minute demonstration of our tool.
Okay, so now we have the system in place for hanging the wall cabinets. The braces are all on the walls, as you can see. And as you can see down here, these are just 8-foot 1x4s, so they're a little bit short in this case. We'll extend them over to the wall when we get along to that side of the cabinets. Okay, so now we have our rails in place on the braces. They're level across the back, and now what we want to do is we want to make sure that they're level from the back of the wall to the front. And in order to do that, we simply throw a level up here like so. Check my bubbles. My bubble in the front is a little bit high. So I'm simply going to come along here, loosen up my, my adjusting nuts, rotate the cam handle so that as you can see, this brace will either go up or down by rotating this handle. So I'm going to rotate the handle up just a little bit. There you go. Twist the thumb knot, twist the thumb nut, get it set. Now I can set my other thumb nut, and I know that this side is good. Then from there we just simply run the level all the way down, and we're in good shape. Okay, as we talked a little bit before about high and low spots on the wall, what you can see here, you can see how much of a gap there is between the wall and the back rail. That gap right there is what has to be shimmed on any set of cabinet installation jobs. So what we're going to do, by setting the shim and seeing where this is, I'm going to mark out where the cabinets are going to go on the walls. We'll be able to simply tape these shims right to the wall, set our cabinets in place and screw them right to the wall. You're not going to have to do any guessing, figuring out, well, did I get enough shim in place? Did I not get enough shim in place? There again, you can see all along here how much these walls are out, and that is typical and perfectly normal. Okay, so one of the real beauties of this system is that never are you having to worry about putting some shims behind a cabinet, running the screws in, backing the screws back out, adjusting the cabinets, all that kind of stuff, because this system takes all that guesswork out. What you'll see here is that we've already gone ahead and started installing the shims. There again, if you remember when we talked about the low spots and high spots on the wall, each of these shims here are adjusted accordingly, and we've just simply taped them to the wall so they're not going to move or go anywhere. You'll see here that we've got one 42-inch wall cabinet. We're going to have a 30-inch wall cabinet, another 42-inch wall cabinet on that end. And with the shims already in place, we've already determined where the high and low spots are. We've also located the shims according to the height. We've come down from the bulkhead 3 inches, and that's in direct correlation to the 3-inch height that we have on the mounting rails, top and bottom on these cabinets. So Anyway, with the shims in place now, we're ready to start throwing some cabinets up on the shelf. Okay, so we're ready to go ahead and put the first wall cabinet up on the rail system, and needless to say, yours truly is going to do that by himself because that's what this is supposed to do. There you go. Now you can slide that down. Needless to say, there's going to be some place in here for a filler strip or some kind of a termination strip between the cabinet and the wall. But the nice thing about it is you don't have to set this perfectly and be concerned whether or not you're either going to have the run centered or whether or not you're going to have a larger space here than down there or enough space at all. So the beauty is we've set this first cabinet up here. Now I can go ahead and get the other cabinet and set that up there, get it clamped in place, and we'll be ready to go. All right, another thing that makes this system pretty important, pretty fun to use, is getting the holes marked for where you're fastening your cabinets to the wall. 9 times out of 10 anymore, they don't install hanging rails like we have in this project here. Where you can pretty much run a screw anywhere along you want. You have to find the stud and secure the cabinet to the wall through the studs. So a lot of times, because you have the 1/4 inch overhang on the face frame, it makes measuring the holes for the back of the cabinet difficult. What we've done here is you simply run your tape measure to the inside of the cabinet, kind of eyeball it to the center of your bracket because these brackets are 1.5 inches wide, just like a stud is. And since you've located your bracket right over top of the stud, you know that this is where the center of your stud is. So I can come along here and take a look and see, okay, 6.25 inches from the inside of the box over is where I need to transfer my mark onto the back wall. And as long as I stay within that 3-inch mounting rail, I know that I'm going to have secure installation.
Okay, so with the first cabinet on the rails, we're ready to set the far right cabinet. I'm going to set this cabinet first and leave space for the center cabinet to demonstrate how I make use of a product that I discovered years ago that to me is a must-have of any cabinet installer. But we'll get to that in a moment. Again, I'm setting a 42-inch box on the wall by myself, not worrying about who's going to hold the cabinet while someone else sets the first fastener, and level, all while making sure it's on the mark. A quick adjustment to the shim that we tape to the wall, and a double check to make sure that the space is the width of the center of the cabinet, and we're ready to set that center cabinet. As you can see, the rails run under the adjacent wall cabinets, leaving an offset for the cabinet above the sink. Because this tool is designed to save time, we're not going to take the time to reset the rails. To make the setting of this cabinet quick and easy, you could use clamps and blocking, but I prefer to use a platform that again allows for perfect alignment and full support of the cabinet. 2P10 is a product that I learned about a number of years back, and prior to my retirement was a must-have on my installs. Using ordinary masking tape, peel off a piece and press down the adjacent boxes as shown. Then apply the 2P10 gel to the block of wood, spray the activator on the tape, and quickly stick the block to the tape. By the time you finish the last block, the joints are set and you are ready to set the cabinet in place. Once the cabinet is set, you simply pull at the block of tape and it comes right off, leaving the side of the cabinet unaffected.
Okay, so with the wall cabinet set, we're able to use the same brace for setting the base cabinets. All we have to do is pull the brace off the wall, flip it 90 degrees, and in this setup here, as you can see, it provides a perfect platform, or maybe not so much a platform, but it provides a perfect adjustment for the base cabinets. In this layout here, we're going to have a space a base cabinet, a space for a dishwasher, sink base, another base cabinet, and then a space for a spacer on the other wall. So it's always important to make sure that the base cabinet on the right-hand side aligns with the sink base cabinet, because when you install the countertops, if one cabinet is ahead of another or behind another, it's going to have a major effect on trying to get that dishwasher aligned. In this kitchen here, the dishwasher that's going in is a standard KitchenAid dishwasher, so it does not have a panel that matches the front of the cabinets. So if you're a homeowner or you're a contractor, you're installing a job where the dishwasher has a custom panel that matches exactly with the cabinets on either side, they call it a concealed type of dishwasher. That's crucially important for the simple fact that if those cabinets on either side of the dishwasher don't perfectly align, when that dishwasher finally slides in place, it looks terrible, if nothing else. So let's go ahead and get started getting the base cabinets installed. Okay, as we're starting to set our first base cabinet, needless to say, this is the sink base and needs to be perfectly aligned with the cabinet above. So as you can see, I've drawn a center line down. I got a mark on the top of the cabinet, and this cabinet is where everything else falls from. You can't start with the cabinet over here or start with the cabinet over there. You have to make sure that this lines up with the cabinets above. In this particular case, it's not super critical because you don't have any wall cabinets that come all the way down to the countertop that will show that critical alignment. But the bottom line is there's always one way to do something, and that's the right way. And so since you want to make sure that this is center, you center line that first. And all we have to do now is just shim up so that this surface here lines up with this edge and then is rotated properly. And it's as simple as shimming it up to the back, shimming it up to the front. Pick this side up. Oops, pick that side up. There again, we're using the composite shims on this project. I use composite shims all the time, especially on your base cabinets, because they will not compress like the good old-fashioned cedar shims of yore. So now that we've got the right height, come along here, adjust that a little bit. We got the right height along there. Now all we have to do is bring the cabinet flush with that edge. Do that, shim the back, screw it in place, and you're done.
Unfortunately, we lost our audio for this last segment in the field. But in short, you can now see that the installation is complete and all cabinets are set. When the countertop folks come in, they will find base cabinets that are perfectly aligned and dead level, making their job a snap. The space for the dishwasher is exactly right. The elevations of the cabinets on either side of the opening are exactly right. And folks, we're finished.